Good morning, good morning, good morning, Facebook fam. We are live. They are building an audience, and we're getting ready for what we have today. So we have to be sure that you go onto our Facebook page and like it. Be sure that you go onto our YouTube page and subscribe to it. And be sure that you click this button and share this video with your friends and family and other associates that you might have. So as we build this thing out, we'll see who we have today. As we prepare for another Get Me Through Wednesday. See what God has for us and what we can use for us today. So as they're building this out, we this week I was trying to figure out exactly what our topic would be today and what we would talk about today. And I guess it's two different things. I have been reading a book about Sabbath. Pastor Pete shared this book with me about Sabbath. And the book has really been intriguing for the simple fact that it has ministered to me as far as about getting proper rest and taking those days and that time to really have a Sabbath. And Sabbath is something that I think we've heard and we've heard the word, we've heard it in ministry and around church and stuff like that. But Sabbath is something that God actually built into our wiring and into our system and into our day-to-day operation. And what I've learned from reading this book is that we take advantage of our Sabbath and we overwork ourselves and we don't take a proper Sabbath. And so today I want you to understand and want you to actually figure out that sometimes it's okay to just say no. One of the things that I have difficulty with and even my wife has difficulty with is that we're always trying to be all we can be to our friends and to our family. And at the end of the day, we rip and run and we're trying to cover all bases. And then we have situations or times or circumstances to wherein we only are able to give each other what's left because we've dispensed out everything else to everybody else. And then we want to come together and we want to give that last bit of what we have of ourselves to each other. And that's not how God designed that. God designed it to wherein, as you read the scriptures, it says that he created heaven and earth and everything in it in 6 days. And on the seventh day, he rested. And he completely rested. He disengaged. He backed off. He didn't have his hand on the keyboard. He didn't have his cell phone in his hand. He completely disengaged and backed off. So I want to say that we have to build that Sabbath into our lives. We have to build that moment of disengaging and relaxing and actually spending time doing those things that we were designed to do, which is to rest. So if anything that you get out of this message today is one of just say no. Learn how to say no, and it's okay. Um, I'm figuring out that when you just say no, people who are truly not just your friends, but who are in friendship with you, because there is a difference. There's a difference between associates, friends, and friendship. Friendship is, and I'm in this mess with you, and that means I know you can share things with me that you may not share with your friends, and you definitely not sharing it with your associates. So if you're in friendship with folks, friendships will understand when you say no, and that you need to not be at this event or be at this meeting or go to this conference or do whatever. Give yourself the ability to just say no and be okay with saying no and not feeling guilty if you don't have anything to do. I have purposely built into my system, into my program, because when you lay out everything that I do on a daily basis, some people actually kind of blink 2 or 3 times and cough a little bit because they're like, wait a minute, you do all of that? But I purposely built into my weekly program a Sabbath. And sometimes it may not be on the same day, but in a 7-day stretch, I'm going to take a Sabbath. I'm going to take that time to where and I completely just not lock in on anything. Even if it's just that I go to a coffee shop and I do some reading, or sometimes I'll go out to San Pedro and go to the beach and just look at God's goodness. Look at how his creation. Take time to really look at the grass. Sometimes it's nothing else but just hanging out at home and listening to my kids conversate. 16-year-old conversations can be very intriguing and funny and enlightening. And if you are not able to have 16-year-olds around you, just get some and just sit down and let them conversate, and you'll see that it can be quite enjoyable. My point is, learn how to say no. Learn how to build Sabbath into your life. Learn how to rest. God didn't create us to work like we do. He didn't create us to be these workaholics going from here to there and eating on the run and constantly on the phone and constantly on our laptops. And I'm not convicting anyone. I'm guilty of the same thing myself. I always have my cell phone. I always have my laptop. I'm always trying to respond to emails, do something to move the ministry forward, do something to on a personal level, if it's not paying bills and communicating about this or that as far as home is concerned. I'm always engaged. But sometimes you just have to say no. Sometimes you just have to back off and be okay with being okay with what it is. Sometimes you have to understand that you can't do everything. And I know that's going to blow somebody's mind. I know that's going to peel somebody's wig back. No, you can't do everything. And it's like my dad often tells me, and my dad is a very wise man. And sometimes I think that educationally he probably should be a PhD, but he has always told me, he said, if something happens to you today, they're going to find somebody else tomorrow to do it. So spend today doing those things that mean something to you. So getting a hug from my daughter means something to me. Not so much my productivity at my job. Being able to go to my son's game means something to me. Not so much attending a conference. Being able to sit up and watch a TV program with my wife means something to me, more so than trying to figure out what is the next thing that I need to attend as far as a meeting, or what person that I need to meet with. Build Sabbath into your life. Be able to say it's okay to say no. It's all right to say no. And sometimes just saying no and relaxing can be more refreshing than anything else. But you got to be willing to build a Sabbath into your life. God didn't design us to work like we do. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying you go to your job today and you say, you know, Pastor said I'm not supposed to work like this, so I'm quitting. I didn't say that. What I'm saying is that even in our work, create Sabbath. Create those moments to where you can find rest. Because even God rested. And if you go to Genesis, it talks about rest. It talks about not only the person resting, but your folks who are servants are supposed to rest. We are all supposed to rest equally. Therefore, build Sabbath into your life. And it may mean that you don't take a big vacation. That may mean that you just go and do something that you don't typically do. You know what I'm saying? Take a walk in the park. You know, go make a phone call to a friend and just say, hey man, let's go grab a coffee or something. And like my brother from Morehouse said, rest bursts creativity. I am my most creative when I'm at rest. Not when I'm in the hustle and bustle. Not when I'm out trying to do. I'm most creative when I'm at rest. When I go out to the beach and just sit, I'm able to do everything. Develop sermons, develop next moves that I want to make, develop creative ways of taking my wife out. When you're at rest, you become more creative, but also you got to realize that you are wired to rest. That's what we're yearning for. That's why we get so excited when we know we got 2 books and we can take a vacation. We get so excited. And I see folks posting on Facebook all the time. One more day and I'm on my vacation. But why is that? How about if your life was meant to be a vacation? Just walk away with that. Some of y'all not going to get that until next Wednesday. What about if God designed us to where we were supposed to be on constant vacation? To where we were supposed to vacation and rest more than we work. Now, God didn't say you don't work, because it also says in the scripture, if you don't work, you don't eat. But how about if you were supposed to vacation and rest more than you work? That means that maybe we are overworking ourselves and not resting enough. That's why we have to find enjoyment in those things that are unfulfilling. Like social media, like our phones, like our laptops. I'm just saying. I'm not saying I got all the answers, but I'm just saying. So hopefully this has blessed you today. Like I said, share this with somebody. Share it on your page. Share it with your circle of influence. Be sure you go on to our Facebook page, Get Me Through Wednesday, and like that. Be sure that you click on the button here. I don't do a lot of live feeds. I only do it on Wednesday. So subscribe to it. That way the next time I'm on, you will know that. But let's build some Sabbath. Let's build some rest into our lives. And be okay with just saying no. Everybody, if folks need you as much as they say they do, as my mother says, what were they doing before they met you? Let them continue to do that, and you get your rest. Amen. I'm Pastor Said. I'm out. Thank you for joining me today. See you back here, same time, same place, next Wednesday for another Get Me Through Wednesday segment. Pastor Said, and I'm out.